So I'm going to show you how I surfed one of the biggest, most powerful and perfect swells we've seen here in Israel. And I will also explain what can you learn from my backside surfing, and I'm sure it's gonna help you. So the swell period was around 11 to 12 seconds, with waves breaking well overhead with a lot of power and energy. The wind was very weak, creating perfect tubes that were breaking on the inside. And of course, there were many people out there making it even more challenging to catch the good waves. And I think out of the 3 hours I surfed that day, I had like 3 nice tubes and a couple of waves with good backside performance. Now, as one of the only goofy footers out there that day, I had to use completely different technique for backside tube riding. And I think that in general, backside surfing is always much more harder than frontside surfing. This is because we have our back to the wave, resulting less control. So the two things that help me the most during backside tube riding are the look and the leading hand. Notice how even before the bottom turn, I start to identify the potential for a tube, and I don't take my eyes off the wave. The leading hand begins to point where I want to go. I compress down for the bottom turn when realizing that I need to wait for the tube. So I made a quick snap, not in the pocket of the wave, right in the middle of the wave. This gives me the momentum and push I need to catch the rail, bend myself and align with the tube. And towards the end of the tube, I realized that I won't be able to make a clean exit. So I choose to bail out from the whitewash a second after it really breaks. Now, my second tube of the day involved a different technique. But before we dive into it, let's discuss dealing with crowded lineups. So on those special and epic days with surfers coming from all over, the tendency is to get frustrated, try to catch as many waves as possible, and to lack patience because we see others catching waves while we struggled. My approach is different. In this situation, I remind myself that the quality is more important than quantity. I prefer 3 good waves on a day like this over 10 average ones. Because I know that even if I come out of the water with just one amazing wave, it can change my entire perspective for the day, maybe even for the whole week, compared to 10 average to bad waves. So yeah, patience pays off, at least in my opinion. Now back to my second backside tube. You see, some waves allows you to surf the tube right from the takeoff, and this one was one of those waves. And when I identify such waves, I still use the 2 most crucial elements we discussed earlier, the look and the leading hand. But here, the knee comes into play as well. The front knee helps me to slow down, what's called stalling for the tube. And you can see that I almost lie down on the wave, trying to slow down myself with pushing my knee and my right leading hand deep into the wave, maximizing my time in the tube. And looking back, I realized I could have gotten out of that tube earlier instead of riding it to the end. So that day there were truly amazing waves, and now as I edit the footage I realize how lucky you need to be to catch the right wave at the right time. Personally, I love challenging myself with good and barreling waves, and the fact that I was one of the only goofy footers trying to surf backside tubes that day challenged me even more, because the level in the water was truly amazing. People were making perfect tubes, sometimes without exit, but still there were some epic waves that I won't forget anytime soon. So I think that if you want to improve your surfing, you need to take risks and position yourself correctly for success. And if you feel you want to improve your turns and performance, click here on this video right here. I have 2 tips that can help you a lot. See you on the next video.